is not a moral ideology. It's not about ethics. Is there ethics in religion? We have to ask ourselves, is there ethics in politics? Because there is no real separation between religion and politics. Religion is a political ideology, and politics cannot exist. Governments cannot exist. Political parties, even the Marxists, cannot exist without religion. They need God all the time to justify injustices.
Statement of purpose. Although I acknowledge that my own bloodline and research connect me to the traditions and narratives surrounding Yatakarasu, the Taira clan, Lord Terinos, and the ancient esoteric orders of Japan and Etruria, I must also speak openly. This information is deeply uncomfortable for me. I did not choose this ancestry, and I do not glorify the shadows of immorality that may have accompanied it. What I do choose is the path forward. I aspire to be better than the darker elements of these traditions, to stand for righteousness, justice, truth, honor, and goodness. My mission is not to perpetuate unnecessary secrecy or domination, but to transform what I have inherited into something healing and enlightening. This is why I share the message of the Obi-Ichi Enlightenment, to take the best of the Japanese and Etruscan culture and lineage and every fragment of their wisdom and turn them toward unity, compassion, and the light of truth under the true mandate of heaven. My name is Frankie Traino, or Traino, also known as Shigana, or Dominus Sigan Traino, founder of the Shindo Fushin Ryudojo. Though Australian born of Italian descent, I also hold deep Japanese roots and am counted among the Taira clan. My Italian and Etruscan ancestry traces back to Lord Terinos, the founder of the League of 12 City-States in Etruria. His descendants in Umbria later migrated south to Calabria, Magna Graecia, southern Italy. My late master and teacher, Soke Hiromusashi, was the founder of the Obi-Ichi Enlightenment cultural movement and the head of the Oboro-zuki Ryu clan. For more than 3 decades, I have walked the path of Shindo of the Oboro-zuki Ryu and studied esoteric mystery traditions of the Japanese, Etruscans, and Hebrews, alongside involvement in Freemasonry. Over the past 2 decades, I have traced the roots of the Silk Road pilgrims into Japan, the Taira and Minamoto conflict. Through this journey, I discovered truths hidden beneath history's veil. The highly respected Minamoto clan were in fact usurpers. Contrary to the popular narrative, Yoshitsune Minamoto was not the noble hero celebrated in legend. I assert that the Taira family, in particular King Taira no Masakado and Queen Takiasha Hime, were destined to rule by decree of Tsukuyomi Omikami, the moon god of divine wisdom. Their role was to confront corruption caused by the Fujiwara government. Yet betrayal struck. With Tsukuyomi absent from Japan, punitive forces such as the Tengu, a coded reference to Hebrews who had migrated to Japan, aided the Minamoto. The Taira were defeated and their treasures, including the family heirloom sword and the red flag of Taira no Masakado, were stolen. Yoshitsune Minamoto trained in the shinobu arts by Tengu and took advantage of this legacy. From knowledge passed down to me, Yatakarasu represent the wisdom of Hebrew Kabbalah, transmitted by the Tengu. The 3 legs of Yatagarasu represent the 3 pillars of the Tree of Life in Kabbalah. In this symbolism, the word crow itself becomes a cipher for Hebraic esoteric knowledge. Musa, Musashi, and the samurai legacy. Another strand of this history identifies Akhenaten, also called Moses or Musa in Japan, as a founder of the samurai tradition. And this is in reference to Mars, not the sun. Arriving in the land of reeds on a reed boat, he allied with Jinmuteno, Ninigi no Mikoto, the Western Emperor. When Musa first arrived in Japan, he immediately paid homage to the Western Emperor. You see, the yellow race descended from Mars, the red star. Musa became known as Musashi, marrying an imperial daughter. From him descends the line of my sensei, Hiro Musashi, of the Oborozuki clan of Tsukuyomi Omikami. The clan honored both Tsukuyomi and Amaterasu until their divine quarrel cast Tsukuyomi Omikami from Japan into the Middle East, from where he sowed the seeds of Sufism. And Amaterasu, being a war goddess, plunged the nation into an era of war under her black flame. Near Eastern origins of Japanese clans. Many Japanese clans trace their roots to the ancient Near East. The Hozumi clan descends from Sumeria, home of the first Hebrews, later remembered as Tengu, also known as Heavenly Dog, said to have descended from the star Sirius, or the dog star. Musa, Musashi, arrived from Egypt. The Western Emperor's ancestry connects to Etruria. Japan's music, architecture, and bathhouses parallel those of the Etruscans. All leads were in Kyoto. The Gion Festival of Kyoto is one of the 3 biggest festivals in Japan. It is held for a whole month and counted as the festival representing Japan. But there are many strange things on the floats. Here are some of the designs on the floats. Don't you have a strange impression? Here is a drawing of the Palace of Baghdad and a camel on the desert of Egypt. These are all scenes of the Silk Road. Here is a pyramid with a Roman on a camel. And one more strange thing is this. What is this in which a man is drinking from a jar of a woman? Kyoto itself was built by Hebrew and Etruscan tribes as a new Sion. The city's name, Heian-kyo, peaceful capital, reflects this, and its central district, Gion, echoes Mount Sion. The Gion festival, held July 17th, coincides with the traditional date of the legend of Noah's Ark landing on Mount Ararat, commemorating the journey back across the Silk Road. And this was also the day that the Etruscans arrived in Japan. Here is a depiction showing the Western Emperor, Jinmuteno, wearing a toga, which is in stark contrast to traditional Japanese attire. And notice also the silver shoes, which is one of the shoes of the Etruscans, along with the red shoes. On his bow, here we see the eagle, which in this case is not the crow Yatagarasu. If you look closely, this is actually an eagle, which represents the Etruscan eagle, which later became known as the Roman eagle. Thus, it shows the divinity of the Romans, of the Etruscans. Other depictions show the 3-legged crow of Yatagarasu, which is different to this particular image we see here, which is an eagle. It's a golden eagle. Although keep in mind that the original Miko priestesses came from Queen Himiko. She was an Etruscan queen, and the original Miko were also part of the Oborozuki clan. And if you want to know more about these Miko, then please purchase a copy of my book series, Shadows of the Oborozuki. Their lore includes the Peacock Wisdom, King Sutra, and Peacock Wisdom also goes back to the Greco-Roman mother goddess Hera or Juno, which is the wife of Jupiter or Zeus. Zeus is where we get the name of the storm god in Japan, Susanoo. The secret society of Yatagarasu. For decades, rumors have spread that Japan harbors the world's oldest secret society, the Yatagarasu, the three-legged crow. Said to guard ancient shrines, rites and bloodlines, their name originates from the crow deity who guided Emperor Jinmu from the Kumano Mountains. Their headquarters are linked to the Shimogamo and Kamigamo shrines in Kyoto. It is important to note that depictions sometimes show not a crow, but an eagle, symbolizing dual heritage, the Roman eagle of the Western Emperor and the crow as Kabbalistic guide. The group is rumored to consist of 17 members, with an inner circle of 12 and a supreme triad known as the Golden Bird, Kinshi, or the Hidden Emperor, Urateno. Their influence is said to rival the emperor's. Dragons, shadows and opposition. 5 dragon societies: black, white, red, green or blue, and yellow, representing elemental colors. Yet according to my late sensei, these dragons once ruled the 5 main islands of Honshu, Japan, until defeated by the Oborozuki clan. They are corrupt, like the Sabbatean Illuminati. They would then stand alongside the Nozimi cult, or Sons of Hanya, the Southern Court. When I say Southern Court, I mean Gonansho, which is the second Southern Court, that reformed after the fall of the first Southern Court, which fought against the false Northern Court. Bloodlines, epigenetics, and global reach. The martial arts of Japan, Budo, cannot be fully understood without tracing them to Egypt through the Musashi line, as well as to Etruria, Greece, Rome, and Sumeria, and even Mu, the lost civilization. Samurai helmets recall the heads of Egyptian deities. Shinobu or ninjutsu itself was said to be given by the Tengu through the Toranomaki Tiger Scroll, which encode the Torah of the Hebrews. Keep in mind now, this is very fragile information. Under the rule of the Tokugawa government, in order to survive, Yagyu and Minamoto hunted the shinobi and onmyodo practitioners and original royal lineages nearly to extinction, yet the Oborozuki bloodline, the Musashi and Hayato families faded into shadow and survived. Some members of the Musashi family separated in a disagreement and they renamed themselves Musashi. They were given permission to use the Tokugawa Kamon crest because they served under him, thus becoming his honorary bushi. These Musashi in particular have nothing to do with the Musashi of my late sensei. They are a different family. And Hayato later became Hayabusa. They were famous for horse riding and skills in cavalry. That's why they name the motorbikes today, some of the best bikes in the world, Hayabusa. It kind of mirrors the horses of old. The Hozumi clan, whose crest is the three-legged crow, were priests at the Kumano shrines from around 700 CE. The Suzuki family name, descended from them, is now the second most common in Japan. Suzuki Magoichi of the Seika renegades bore the Yatagarasu crest as a 16th century shinobi and gun expert. Origins of the three-legged crow. The symbol of the three-legged crow stretches back through Asia and into the Near East. In China, the sons of Wu represented the sun and imperial power from the Qin to Han dynasties. In Korea, the Samjoko was a heraldic symbol of the Goguryeo kingdom. Japan, China, and Korea's shared use suggest interconnected royal families with origins in the Near East. That would be from the original Zoroastrians, which go back to the First World Persian Empire. This is a global network with one blueprint carrying all of this out. And it goes back to those original Persian bloodlines, from which also stemmed Siddhartha Gautama, the most popular Buddha, who was actually an ancient Magi. He was a Zoroastrian. There is enough evidence which can be researched to show that Gautama was a Zoroastrian Magi. They create all these religions. They manipulate people. That's what they've been doing for thousands of years. The Qin dynasty's descendants, the Hatta clan, helped build Kyoto. Ancient records show that the great Qin referred not to China, but to Persia or Rome. Alexander's Susa weddings of Greeks and Persians also echo this practice, with connections to Susanoo no Mikoto, who is Jupiter or Zeus, of Yasaka Shrine in Kyoto. The crow and eagle are two separate things. The eagle represents the Etruscan and Roman Empire. The crow is to do with the Hebrews. And it also ties in with Odin of the Vikings, of the Viking. And Odin is equivalent to Saturn or Kronos in the Greco-Roman religion. My name, Sigan, or Sigana, also means raven or crow. Global echoes of the crow. The figure of the crow or raven appears globally. The duality of Taoism also originated from the Zoroastrians. It's just another one of those manipulations that are put together by these people that rule the world, you know. So I call their religion manipulation. Yeah, they fooled everybody, and people to this day believe in this nonsense. I don't care what mainstream religion it is. Some of them, they contain bits of truth, and there is a lot of good things to take from them, but it's all just mainly ways to pacify the masses, you know, turn the other cheek and submit, self-annihilation and all that stuff. That's just so you don't fight back. That's just so you become submissive. Keeps people in a state of slavery. There's nothing good about the society of the Illuminati. These are horrible, evil people who have destroyed the original royalty. They've genocided races and various peoples who were there before them. They used to actually be slaves to us. By us, I mean my ancestors. You know, we don't do that anymore, but what they did when they broke free, they hated our guts and they murdered all of us. Eventually we got soft, you know, towards the end of Rome and all that. You know, we had already done everything, conquered everything, been everywhere, and by that time we were relaxed, and we got too relaxed, and that was our downfall, that we let our guard down. We should have never done it, because now what you have is these sons and daughters of slaves and criminals off the street basically ruling society, and they don't have the individual aptitude like we did to rule a nation. You know, I'm not saying slavery is good. I don't believe in slavery, but you know, unfortunately that's the reality, and I don't make excuses for anyone, not my ancestors either. I'm just saying that's the truth of what happened. They hate the Romans, the Etruscans, the Greeks, and they hate the Japanese. They hate us. They want to kill us, genocide us. That's why they threw a bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They hate our guts. And they killed all of the original Roman bloodlines. The Merovingian bloodlines originally ruled France because Us Italians are the ones who established France. The royalty of France was Roman. The Romans gave France civilization. We set up France. We set up Spain. Okay? And eventually they rose up and they genocided us. And, the remains of many of our people and ancestors can be found in the catacombs of Paris. That's what happened to the ones that never got away. I'm lucky I'm still alive. I'm lucky my family survived that absolute genocide by the Sabbatean, Savoy, Illuminati, New World Order scumbags. And that's all I'm going to say for now.